Welcome to the show. How are you guys doing? Hopefully, you're having a great day. If not, I will share some of my sadness in order to entertain you because my pain and suffering is entertaining for others. Let's just put my little face here. Get the webcam a little bit down. Josiah wants to ruin this beautiful arrangement where I get to tell you things which make me sad because he wants me to be happy. He gave me $2, and I want to thank Josiah from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I will tell you why my fiance is upset with me. I'll probably repeat this because it's in the title. More people come in, they will want to know. But as you probably have known, my fiance started watching Gawr Gura, yeah. And she watches the Let's Play of Outlast. So today she came up to me and she was very upset. It's like, why can't I be as entertaining as Gura? Why don't my super chats flow like hers? And I'm like, well, I don't know. Maybe you should marry Gura instead. And she's like, maybe I should. I'm like, oh, damn. I need some cold water to apply to the hot burn. Oh my god, Peter, don't even joke about it. Let's knock on wood. Let's knock on wood. It's a good thing she actually, from my knowledge, doesn't have a YouTube account. I noticed this with a lot of girls, at least in Romania. I don't know if this is the same in other countries, but you send a girl a cool trailer for a game or for a movie, and they say, oh, I can't watch it. It's like, why not? Because it's age restricted. And you're thinking, it's like, well, just click the button to watch the video. And they're like, no, I don't have an account. Heaven forbid if HoloLive releases the male stars for English. That would be really bad. Going to be streaming from the doghouse, yes. I actually feel bad about the whole HoloLive community. And I'll show you what I mean in a bit. Gawr Gura is actually more talented than all of the other stars. And I think she is taking the internet by storm. Like, she's getting 600,000 subscribers. And all the other girls, they're getting like 200, 300,000. Which is not a lot if you consider the fact that they have a company to back them. In a way, I feel bad for the other girls because some of them are really talented. Let me see if I can bring something up and show you guys what I mean. Yeah, here we
I've
go.
also heard that.
Here's something that's going to melt your heart. Just watch this. Watch this. Listen to this.
I've also heard that a lot of people have been picking up drawing again or picking up their hobbies again after watching my stream. And I'm sorry. It really makes me happy because that's one of the biggest reasons I wanted to do. Well, I wanted to become a VTuber. Anyways, 무리다. Yeah, ごめんなさい. I'm sorry. Oh.
Now, I don't know if it's fake or not. Obviously there's a company behind this. Maybe all of it is just, maybe all of this is just for show, to pull on your heartstrings, to donate more. But I'll tell you what. This is the competition, okay? This is this is who she's competing with. This is who the previous generation used to get entertainment from.
Speech about how I need subs to keep the stream going if you like the content, blah, blah, blah. How that results in 0 subs. There are regulars here. $5 a month. How do you have hours of time to watch me and not $5? I don't know. What are you doing with your life where you have hours of time to watch Twitch and not $5 to provide for the content that you're watching? Because it's like people just really they really don't respect me as a content creator.
Well, you know, like, maybe they're both fake. I mean, one of the things that I know a lot of people, especially content creators, are doing, they think that bad publicity is good publicity. And as this gentleman, Penguin Z, is pointing out, when you're a musician, what you're selling is your art, right? You're selling your music. When you're a movie maker, what you're selling is your movies. But when you're a content creator, what you're selling is your personality. So, you know, maybe bad publicity is good publicity, but when you're advertising yourself to be this person that's like $5, Jesus, well, it actually worked. Look, Josiah gave me $5. I didn't know it works. Maybe I need to play that a little bit more. But yeah, like you're basically advertising yourself to be a nasty person. So, you know, when the live tubers are coming in and they're basically, you know, crying on stream because it's like, oh, look, other people have picked up drawings because I'm drawing. And they're really happy about it. That's wholesome. Maybe it's fake. I don't know. But like, honestly, everything is fake. You know, they're anime characters. That's fake. You don't know what's going behind the production. Like, they're not getting all of that money. It's the company that is. So, I mean, to me, if it's going to be really fake, at least you get to watch some wholesome fake than some girl screaming at you for not giving her $5. Thank you, Hog McGee. Oh. Honestly, like, when is that a good idea? Now, I get how it is to be a content creator, all right? Like, you invest a lot of money, and, like, here's the thing. It's like working with China. That's how I would describe it. You're a small company, you decide to work with China, and all of a sudden you have access to this big market. The money starts pouring in. You start expanding. You start buying other branches. And now you're a little bit worried because you're too big. You're too big. And it's the same with, you know, being a content creator. Like, all of a sudden you're making $1,000, $2,000 a month. That's a lot of money. So all of a sudden you think, maybe I should make a bank loan. Maybe I should, you know, invest into something. And then when the money stops coming in, you get panicked. And you think it's a good idea to scream at your subscribers for not paying you a lot. Hang McGee, again, I want to thank you. V, you wanted a good mouse, get the MX 518. Mr. Self-Aware, I don't want to put you in the position where I'm going to spend my nights hunting to see who told me to get that godforsaken mouse. So what I actually did is I refounded the mouse that I got. So let me see if I can bring up on screen. I gave a refund to the mouse. I got my money back. And the thing is, like, I have to purchase something else from them. Like, I need to use the same store in order to purchase a different mouse. And let me see if I can find the one that I got. Yeah. Alright, so I managed to find this one, which is at a sale. Now, the reason I went for something more expensive is because the last mouse lasted me 4 to 5 years. And I want something that also lasts me 4 to 5 years. I don't want to purchase something that's cheap and then I have to replace it next year. And this one seems to be exactly what I need. I need something that I can have my thumb over here with the money that I got from the previous one. I managed to get this one, which used to be at around $200. but I could get it for 50% off. So technically, I only paid $2 for it because I used the body from the previous one, and yeah. So hopefully it's going to be a good mouse. Dude starts playing Among Us with like 9 of the highest bidders for an hour and then stream it to make more money. Yeah, so I've played a little bit of Among Us. A lot of people tell me to play that. Here's the problem with Among Us. I find it to be a very boring game because you don't really get to choose if you can be the imposter or not. So most of the time you're going to play as a crewmate, and at least the games that I played in, the imposter was really dumb. Like, they were really bad at the game, to the point where the moment they kill someone, they get discovered. So what ends up happening is like, alright, well, we start the game, I walk around, I do some tasks, and then all of a sudden, someone found a dead body. And everyone goes like, it's Black, it's Black. So, oh, Black has been voted out. Black was the imposter. And then you go back into the loading screen, and you have to wait for a new game to start. And the new game is exactly the same. It's like, oh, you have been assigned as a crewmate. You go around, you walk for like 20 seconds, a body was found. And everyone is like, it's green, it's green. Green was voted out. Green was the imposter. And I don't really know how I could improve the game. But, Abdi Muhammad, if you got any ideas, like, I think maybe if you create the game with 2 or 3 imposters, it would be more interesting. But then it might also be way too difficult, because I think the game is balanced for 1 imposter. Among Us is only fun with friend group. Playing with randoms is boring. Yellow looks red. None of my friends would play that game. Yeah, by the way, I got some bad news. I don't think it's a secret. You're going to find out eventually. Short Fat Otaku got his channel demonetized, and it went just like that. Just like that. No warnings, no nothing. He says most of his videos were monetized. Most of his videos were green. And he just got the message today. The walls are closing in on me. And I will probably still do what I do if I get demonetized, but I would have to go back to the hospital, so that means I will do fewer videos. I'm sorry to say this. Number 2 is the optimal number for imposters, I see. Yeah, I mean, the thing with the Short Fat Otaku, like, okay, if I were to, and I told him this, he was pushing the boundaries, I would say. Now, most of his videos were quite tame, right? Like, he wasn't pushing the envelope in his videos, but he was pushing the envelope with his clickbait titles and the thumbnails, right? So, for example, here you have R.E.P. Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and you have like, it's hot down here, lol. Like, basically he is happy that she passed away, and he's basically implying that she didn't go to heaven. And then you have his avatar, showing the okay sign. I mean, dude, I don't think someone at YouTube HQ requires too much convincing by his underlings that, yeah, maybe this guy is a little bit too edgy for our taste. All buildings matter, and you have like this guy flying into the 2 buildings. Like, here's the problem. I don't think people on the left have a very well developed sense of humor nowadays. I don't think there is any difference between jokes and saying something that you mean it. So this is why I made a video, I think 6 months ago, saying you can't be funny on YouTube anymore. Because any type of joke is going to be misconstrued. It's going to be like, oh, well, that's a problematic joke. So yeah, I mean, he got demonetized for hate speech and other activities that can encourage for self-harm. Encourage harm. But you know, like this is assuming that if people play 100% by the rules and follow everything, and they're 100% by the book, they're not going to get demonetized. Like I don't know. You know, if it was with the strike system and they were more clear in showing why exactly did the person, like, okay, this is the video that was the problem. If they were to do that, then other people could learn something from it. But so far, like, I could just assume that someone at YouTube just didn't like Fat Otaku. Not to mention, like, he got recently in a lot of scandals on Twitter with communists and with Shoe on Head. And again, like, maybe one of them happened to know someone that works at YouTube. I don't know. USS Liberty was an inside job. Have big noses and Islam. America first. Yeah, dude, don't make me read that and get me into trouble, Milad Shaba. You know the current atmosphere that we're having here, making me read heresy. She was angry with you because you talk about shark girls. All right, so now that we got 230 people here, I can repeat what I said in the beginning. My girlfriend is now addicted to HoloTubers. She watches Gura especially, and she asked me, why am I not as entertaining as she is? You know, more to the point. Let me see if I can find Exhibit A. It's probably somewhere around here. I might spend a little bit looking for it, but eventually I'll get it. Give me a second. Gosh darn it, where did I save it? Well, it was basically just a... Oh, here we go, right? Like, her question is that when I live stream, why don't I have something like this? You know, she's asking me, like, why am I not as entertaining? Like, why can't I be better? And I had to tell her, it's like, look, if you want to, then why don't you go and marry Gura? And I thought, you know, that's it. Like, I shifted 5 mana, and I placed the end game card. I managed to completely end the argument right there, but no. She shifts 6 mana and goes like, well, maybe I will. And there's not much. There's not much I can do or say after that discussion. I mean, the controversy is over. It has been settled. So yeah, why am I not as good as her? It's like, dude, I don't know. But not only that, I was pointing out that the other Hollow girls for England, the other generation girls, man, they're getting overshadowed by Guras a lot. And in a way, it's kind of sad. Because they're nice people. Let me see if I can find what I... Yeah, I think I found it. Hold on. Just put it up here. Some of these ladies are very nice people. And I gotta say, they're not as entertaining as the Shock. But they still... Here we go. Close this here. And I should hide my face. You get... When you say I don't have $5, what you say is I'm so irresponsible with my money that I can't support the entertainment that I enjoy. You know, this is the competition. Right here is the competition. And then you have... Guys, please don't donate to me if you can't. Think about yourself first. You've given me enough already. Ah, dear. Dear, oh dear. I mean, if I have to choose, even if like they're both fake, Sorry, V, but the Assyrian Empire was based as fuck. I haven't read a lot into the Assyrian Empire. Maybe I should. Let me play this again.
I've also heard that.
Hold on. I'm gonna play it again. I'll play it. Give me a second. Here you go.
I've also heard that a lot of people have been picking up drawing again or picking up their hobbies again after watching my stream. And I'm sorry. It really makes me happy because that's one of the biggest reasons I wanted to do. Well, I wanted to become a VTuber. Anyways,無理だ. Yeah, ごめんなさい.
Yeah, I just think that she is boring. Don't get me wrong. I guess if I was younger, I would have watched her. It's not really for me, but if this is genuine, you know, like that is the likely chance that what she said there is actually genuine, then I think she deserves all the money and more. Thank you, Josiah, for slapping that $5 on the table. I mean, I don't know. You know, you can say they're fake tears. I can't disapprove any of the comments because she is working for a company. I'm pretty sure they have a script when they go live. I don't think everything is from the heart, but there is like that small chance that she is saying what she is saying and she means it. And the reason I think it is because Gura mentioned Coco. Now, Coco has been under house arrest for saying Taiwan. Well, not saying, showing Taiwan. And that is a little bit problematic. She wasn't allowed to do this. But apparently they're not going to allow it. They're not going to do anything against Gura because she's too popular. I think it's genuine because, you know, she's at the beginning of her career. And when I started, some of the best things that I got were emails from people which said that they were under depression and my videos cheered them up, or they took some advice that I gave and it helped them out, or they used to be radicals and, you know, they were surrounded by friends that didn't want their best intentions, and because they found my videos they de-radicalized themselves. And, you know, it's kind of weird when you're not in that position to understand how it feels. But imagine this way, you know, imagine you're recording yourself, I don't know, riding a bike, okay? And then a couple of weeks later, you're called by this chubby guy, and he tells you that because he saw you ride a bike so well and having so much fun, he decided to start riding a bike as well, and he lost weight because of it. That actually does make you feel like you've done something good for someone else. It's a really pleasant feeling, difficult to explain. Now imagine that instead of a one guy, you get, you know, 10 or 20 people that are contacting you and they're telling you this. They're saying, yeah, you know, you ride the bike and you are so happy while doing it that we started riding as well. And they thank you because you've managed to change their life for the better. So, you know, it's a good feeling. It's really nice. Makes you find value in what you're doing. And I kind of believe that someone like this holotuber could potentially start pissing her eyes over what she's hearing. Yeah, that is wholesome. It's going to be in my Weekend Stupid. Now, let's talk about something else, okay? And I want to know who did this to me. Who got me to watch VTubers? Like, why is this a thing that I'm doing right now? Oh yes, because Brittany Venti decided to make an autistic video. Why did Brittany decide to do that? Like, she could have just left it alone and I would have never heard about this. Oh my god. Okay. here's a funny joke. You got a Cthulhu entity. Well, actually, it's an illithid, right? Knowledge is power, but learning is boring. Truer words have never been spoken. For a tiny fee, I can suck the knowledge out of an expert's head and inject it into yours. And apparently she goes with woodworking, right? So the Lovecraftian horror sucks the knowledge from the head of a carpenter and then puts it into this person. And she realized that she's an expert carpenter, but she also killed 12 people and hid the bodies in the basement. And I realized just how messed up it is, because now, yeah, like the carpenter would find 12 bodies in his basement and have no idea how they got there. Like the carpenter would not know how to carpet anymore. But not only that, like when he goes into his basement, he would find 12 corpses that he can't explain. Which is kind of funny, because if he now calls the authorities, they're going to find out that it's him that did it. Like this comic is kind of deep. Hold on, I got a message on my phone. Really? Oh. October YouTube policy update. My God, every time I see YouTube policy update, I quake in fear. Yeah, it's a Gundam is a VTuber now. But think about it, you know, like what if this was true? Like what if you could actually do this? You know, you got this cosmic entity coming up to you and they're saying, look, I can suck the knowledge out of an expert and put it into your brain. And you're like, okay, well, I want to have the knowledge of the best coder in the world. You know, the best IT coder in the world. And he goes to an IT person's house, you know, sucks the knowledge. And then when it puts it into your head, you now know how to be the best coder. But you also know that the guy was a pedophile and had killed 20 children, put them under his floor bed, and you know where the video cassettes are. I mean, well, see, like the question is, like, what would you do in that situation? First of all, like the guy would have no idea. Like the guy would just open the floorboards because of the smell and realize there's 20 dead kids there. But secondly, it's like, what do? Like, you know the guy is a criminal, but you can't really report him because the police would then have to ask the question, well, how did you know? How did you know about it? How did you find out about it? That's, you know, like this is something you can talk about at a party when you're having shots or something. Why does YouTube keep contacting me? Every time I get a message from YouTube, I feel like my heart is about to stop. Oh look, Vyorp is going to do the logical. It's like, well, I don't care. At least I know now how to code. You can work at BuzzFeed and you have a life insurance. It's like, well, if something goes bad at BuzzFeed, I can learn how to code. Just don't tell. Yeah, but like, would you be able to live with that information? Like, you would know that all those families are still looking for their kids. And you could help them out. Like, you could be the person that does justice in the world. Is that someone ringing my phone, Alex? No, it's just YouTube that's contacting me with the terms of service update for October. They really want me to read them. Noah feels exclusive here. Post the information you got from the creature on 4chan and they will handle it. Well, how would you know they would take you seriously though? Like, you'd still need to show some evidence on the boards in order for them to take you seriously, because like, there's probably a lot of trolls there, I assume. Where are the 12 guys and 20 dead kids? What? Is there a way to just take the coding information from his brain? No, because that's not how it works, Gulvik. Okay, like, you say that you want to learn how to be a doctor, and then the cosmic entity goes to a random doctor and takes all the information from his head, like everything. You know, you can't pick and choose, and then puts it in your head. Matt, the joke's on you. I don't have a cellar. Okay. Let me see if I can find something else that's interesting. This is going to be This Week is Stupid, but I see cases like this all of the time. An LA musician probably stopped being a socialist after this. He built a $1,200 tiny houses for the homeless. And then the city sees them. Now, of course the city sees them, probably because of some technicalities, right? Because, well, you know, like the standard of construction isn't adequate or whatever. You know what? I actually want to know. It's only on YouTube. But I want to know, why did the city seize them? I mean, I know the short answer and I know the long answer. Yeah, I mean, I would have to watch it on YouTube in order to find out. But the short answer is that bureaucrats need some food as well. You know, bureaucrats need to have a way to get money too. Like, if the homeless problem is fixed, then what are the bureaucrats supposed to do? Are they supposed to work for a living? That's the gist of it. The smaller end of it is that, again, LA is not a very conservative place. And I know what the European Union is doing. Yeah, with the permits and stuff. Like, they usually have all these regulations that are for health and safety, right? Because the left is really big on health and safety. So if you make a house for the homeless, they will say, well, yeah, but you don't have the authorization, you don't have the license to do it. And then they dismantle it. They will not let the homeless people live there. So what do the homeless people do? Well, they don't go into the canals. They go under a bridge, you know, because apparently there is a license to go in a canal. That's, I really dislike this, because I don't think in life you have solutions. I think there's trade-offs, you know, and maybe the lawmaker actually does something that they consider is good. It's like, well, you know, you can't just give a house to someone. You need to have like standards and licenses. But the thing is, when you give a house as a donation to a homeless, I think the law should have exceptions, right? So if you build something for the homeless, as long as it's your land, as long as you're using the materials, then it should be fine. Because I'm telling you what, regardless of how shady the house is built, regardless of how poor the house is built, it's still better than the canals. It's still better than sleeping outside. People don't seem to care about the City of Angels. I always wanted to visit that bridge in LA. Like, from what I understand, that bridge is under constant maintenance. This is what a friend of mine told me. Like, they start from one side of the bridge, and by the time they finish with the maintenance, and by the maintenance I mean like painting it, cleaning it, by the time they reach the other side, they have to start all over again. At least they didn't try to destroy the color orange. I don't know what that is. I'm from California. I still don't care about LA. Oh well. So apparently, the entire mainstream media is worried about Joe Biden debating Trump again. Okay? And let's see if I can find it. Basically, they're okay. I don't have it at hand, but oh yeah, here we go. So you have now a couple of journalists that are suggesting Donald Trump should have his microphone cut during the next debates, which is quite interesting because on one hand, Joe Biden also interrupted. I mean, it's kind of normal, like when you when you get interrupted, you're going to interrupt someone. But I do agree, you know, overall, I wasn't happy with Trump's performance. I think Joe Biden is a gaffe machine, and he can't make gaffes if you constantly interrupt him. So I get that aspect, but the idea that you shouldn't be able, like you should cut Trump's microphone. What are you going to do when, let's say, Joe Biden becomes president and he's going to be at the G6 table, and there's going to be Putin and Chairman Z over there, and they're going to yell over him? Like, what is he going to do? Is he going to cut the mic? You know, like that. What I'm trying to say is that the mainstream media is treating Joe Biden like a victim. I don't think he's a victim. You know, like if you want to be the U.S. president, you shouldn't be a victim. Politics is harsh, man. I mean, if you're going to talk with other world leaders, what do you do if the other world leader starts screaming over you? Especially like if it's a big table debate, if there's a conversation. But then I kind of get also the fact that I, as a viewer, did not enjoy seeing Joe Biden constantly interrupted. Like, again, I was expecting for him to make a gaffe. I was expecting, and I'm a Trump supporter, you know, like I'm on the side of Trump. I was expecting Joe Biden to say something. Well, how can he gaffe if the moment he opens his mouth, Trump talks over him? Yeah, like for example, you know, the fact that Antifa is an idea. Man, like I'm pretty curious how it's like to live in one of these neighborhoods that suffered millions of dollars in damage and private property. And then being told that, oh yeah, it's just an idea that destroyed your business. It's just an idea that destroyed your property. I mean, you get to see the people that are arrested, you know, like someone who follows the news gets to see the papers and sees the people arrested. It's so dumb. Not to mention, it's like, okay, well, it's just an idea. I mean, by this logic, Gamergate was just an idea, and yet the left went after it. QAnon is just that if you wanna follow this train of thought, which I don't think is accurate, just because a group doesn't have a sort of hierarchy doesn't mean that the group doesn't exist. You know, like why is it necessary for the group to have a normal hierarchy? Because but by this logic, if you want to create a group against the system, like all you have to do is to create you know, a group without a hierarchy that just operates on cells based on some loose ideology and principles, and there you go. Like, you're telling me that if the KKK didn't have a hierarchy, then you wouldn't be able to go against it? Like, that's nonsense. That's absolutely ridiculous. Not to mention, like, you know, the alt-right. I mean, they didn't have a hierarchy. They didn't have a leader. You know, like, that's just absolutely ridiculous. What about when they go after white supremacy? Isn't it the same thing? Like, what is the leader? What is the organization? They do it constantly. And I'm not saying that it's not legitimate or anything like that, but, like, how can you do that constantly and then turn around and say, oh, well, no, this is just an idea? Yeah, 9/11 was an idea, exactly. Well, I guess no, with 9/11 you can say, well, no, it was tied to Al-Qaeda and they have a hierarchy, but like, there are terrorist cells in the world that are labeled as such and they don't have a functioning hierarchy. So dumb. You know, when they go after fascism, isn't it literally the same thing? Like, how can you say, yeah, we need to crack down on fascists, and then you say, well, you know, like, this is just an idea? You know, it's kind of funny, because if you actually read history, the reason fascism got rise in Italy is because they would look at the horrors of the Soviet Union, and the fascist parties said, like, we're going to protect you from the communists if you put us in power. That's how they got power. They don't mention that. It seems like almost all of a sudden it happened, it transpired. No, it's like they fear-mongered based on what happened in the Soviet Union and said, if you don't want this to happen in Italy, you need to support us because we're going to keep you safe. Rules for D and not for B. Yeah, I don't think the American people are that uninformed, to be honest. The European Union is just an idea. Well, no, because like they want to say that it's not an organization. All right. even though you have literature that talks about how they operate, even though you have people that identify as such, and by the way, like, this is word language. There is the anti-fascist as the sentiment, like you're against fascism. And then there are people that are part of the organization, which are anarcho-communists. Like, it's just like having a fascist say, oh, well, I'm not a fascist, I'm an anti-communist. You know, it's like, oh, well and good. You can be an anti-communist, but that doesn't make you a capitalist. That doesn't make you, you know, a person that loves freedom. Antifa is just a social construct. How much are you willing to pay me, Billy, to read the Federalist papers? Because I'm not going to touch them with a 10-foot pole, Billy. You know, you do law school, you do med school, and after you finish them, you tell me if you feel like reading a book in your life ever again. Because I just don't feel like. I don't feel like reading anything. Like, to me, books are horrible. They're a social construct. Oh my god, I just said the smartest thing I have ever did in my entire life. I feel so proud of myself. Okay, listen to this. Books are a social construct. Books are a social construct. Yeah, I mean, you know, like, here's another example, right? Racism is just an idea by this logic, if you follow it, right? So why do they invest millions of dollars in order to fight racism if they believe that racism is just an idea? It's ridiculous. Like, I just... I'm not a social construct. I am a cog that creates the social. Jesus, I can't pronounce this name that has like squiggly letters. But that is horrible. By the way, what happened with Boogie? Did the cops arrest him? Because I made a video on my secondary channel and, you know, apparently I stated what I stated on this stream. In America, pointing a gun at someone or firing a warning shot is not defended by the law. I couldn't find a single state where that is the case, which kind of makes me wonder, like, what if you have this big property, right? Like, you got thousands of acres of land, and you put on a couple of glass bottles, and on your property you fire at those glass bottles. Is that legal or not? Because I'm really curious. But from what I know, yeah, like, you're not allowed to point or fire a warning shot. So self-defense is like, okay, no, you put the shot in someone because you're afraid for your life. But not to mention, like, if Boogie did what he did in Romania, according to Romanian laws, he would have a very difficult time explaining that he was afraid for his life. Because I watched the video, and watching the video shows shows imagery of Boogie basically saying, just give me a second, I'll be with you in a bit, I just need to tie my dog. Like, dude, if I have the xenomorph, you know, banging at my door, I don't have a second to tie the dog. Like, if I'm literally afraid for my life, like, if I'm so scared that I think I'm going to die any second, I don't have time to tie the dog. I don't have time to get stuff in order. Oh my god. If the bullet lands on your property, how on earth can you even find that out? Boogie is irrelevant. Boogie, I don't know. I think it's interesting to discuss about the drama, man. If you send your dog, it's the same as if you use a weapon. Ah, well, I think it is different. Like convicting a convincing a jury that, well, I had a dog, an attack dog, and he just escaped, you know, and you're really sorry. I think it's different than it's like, yeah, I pointed a gun and shot the guy, you know, like it's even if like you would convince me that from a legal point of view it's the same, I think like the jury would be more easily convinced that, yeah, well, you know, on the fence at my property it says beware bad dog. You know, I opened the door and the dog just got loose. I mean, what do you want me to do? If the bullet lands on Boogie's land, then there is no problem. If the bullet goes anywhere else, then there is reckless endangerment. Okay, I think that's a good way of putting it. Yeah. I don't know if that's the legislation, but that does sound reasonable. So I guess like you need a gun that shoots just low velocity bullets. By the way, did you guys watch the 100 today? Cause it ended. Who watched the ending of the 100? Press 1 in the chat. Have you ever heard about the Capitalism Falcon movie? No, I have not. I don't watch that many movies. I think I should watch some movies. I watched The Color from Outer Space when I looked at the zit on my back. Waiting for people to tell me if they watched the 100 or not. Oh wow, a lot of people haven't watched the 100. I gotta say it was the worst ending I have ever seen. Really disappointed with it. The 100 was actually a really good TV show which started, I think, 5 years ago. And yeah, I look, I really think that this is the case. Every single TV show starts to get boring after 3 or 4 seasons. And I think only a very, very select few manage to keep themselves entertaining after that. Because when you write a story, like there is only so much you can milk it until it becomes ridiculous or boring. You know, it's like jumping the shark. Like when you did everything and you don't have anything else to do, you jump the shark. No, it wasn't worse than Game of Thrones. It wasn't worse than Lost. It was just bad. Like it's supposed to be a sci-fi, and it ended with this spiritual, I guess like you could even call it like spiritual, religious type of episode. You know, it went really bizarre to the end, and I didn't like it. I mean, if it's something sci-fi, then I expect spaceships and aliens and stuff, but like this was a little bit meh. I haven't watched the Venture Brothers though. No one can beat Lost. After all these years, I have still yet to finish it. Yeah, no, Lost's ending was absolutely horrible. I guess Lost was really good at setting up questions, and it was really bad at answering them. The reason I like the 100, especially in the first 2 seasons, is because they would set up questions and answer them really nicely. But I don't like, you know, like these mystery shows where it's all about the mystery, and once the mystery is solved, you go like, maybe I didn't want to know the answer to it. Like, look, for example, okay, I'll tell you why the 100 was really great. So it's about the apocalypse. Okay, nukes are flying, the entire Earth is irradiated, and people live in a space station. So because the space station is unable to provide for everyone, they need to do a drastic population reduction. And they send 100 of the kids down to Earth to see if the Earth is inhabitable. The reason they do this is because they find out that the space station is unsustainable and they're all going to die anyway. So anyway, they send the kids down on Earth. And the kids find out that the Earth is habitable. And being rebellious teenagers, they at first, break off all the communication with the Ark because they don't want the adults to get there. It's a little bit more complex, but eventually they find out that there are other savages on Earth, like humans that managed to survive the apocalypse, and they have reverted to tribalistic form. Spears and swords and whatnot. So now they're attempting to contact the Ark. They're attempting to contact and send for help. And they fire a couple of missiles into the air to let them know that they're alive. And after they do this, the savages become increasingly hostile. Like they become warlike to the extreme, and they try to annihilate these kids. And eventually you find out that when they launch the missiles to warn the space station, to warn the Ark that it's survivable, the missiles went up, and what goes up goes down, and they completely annihilated one of these savages' villages. I really, and that's why the savages were going to war with the kids, because they viewed them as hostile. And in the beginning they tolerated them. They allowed them to have like their little place where they landed. But the moment they would try to go into the territory of these tribes, they would attack them, and they would viciously kill them. That's when the kids thought, okay, well, the tribes are hostile, but the tribes, that was their way of saying, that's our land. This is private property, GTFO. And when the kids tried to warn the Arks, is that when... And there's a lot of things like that. Like, it was really good in the beginning. Season 1. Season 2 was also great. But by Season 3, it becomes meh. And Season 4 completely lost the plot for me. Thank you, Mr. Evett. Have you ever been in Moldova? And what do you think of Transnistria? Okay, so... Moldova is also the region where I live. But it's also Moldova as in the country east of the border. We call it Bessarabia. I've never been there, and Transnistria is a place where a faction of the Red Army, the Russian army, allegedly broke free of the Russian government and created an enclave there and declared independence. What do I think about it? I mean, that land belongs to Moldova in my opinion, but... Saber 922, thank you for the 2 USD. Shock. I can't do it. I can't. City of Figs. Solidarity for health conditions. I just booked a doctor's appointment I've been avoiding because I don't want to die. The NHS. LOL. I don't think the NHS is that bad, to be honest. What's really funny, and this is absolutely hilarious, I think Coach Red Pill is the person that, initially was talking, Romanian doctor this, Romanian doctor that, he, ha, ha, ha. And I think he went to Ukraine, if I'm not mistaken. Like, I heard him talk about it on a live stream. And he had heart surgery. And he couldn't believe how cheap it was and it was effective. These people legitimately, like foreigners, do not want to understand that Eastern European medicine works. Like, we are not under the Iron Curtain anymore. Like, let me show you how a hospital looks in my country. Maybe I can even show you one where I worked at. Okay, this one doesn't have as many pictures. There must be a... Like, every single picture that I find about hospitals are from outside. There are very few pictures from actually inside the hospitals. But, I mean... They look like this, I mean, I don't know, maybe in your country they look highly different. I don't know, like, is it more high-tech where you where you live in, like, do you get do you get something else? Cause like this is why we got in Eastern Europe. You know, this is how the hostels look like. Now, these are the hostels in big cities, right? If you go to a rural place, then yeah, I mean, you might find a hostel that hasn't been taken care of since the communist era. That's true. Like there is a lot of problem with hospitals. Dude, I'm not lying, Alex. This is from Iași. Like I have been here. This is from Parhon. This is Parhon Hospital. I'm not lying. It's it depends. Like if you live in a big city, Iași, Bucharest, Timișoara, Constanța, then yeah. But if you live in a rural area, then yeah, I guess you're kind of screwed. They look like that in Australia as well. Nearby, the same in Germany. Yeah, I don't get why people are mocking hostels. Well, Alex, feel free to show pictures from your hostel if you want. Where do you live in, Alex, if you say that this is a lie? Because if you want, like, I can actually... Well, I don't think I can now because of COVID. But when COVID is done, I can actually get a camera and go to Spiridon's hospital and film the... well, actually, I could... my girlfriend still goes to the hospital. I could ask her to do that. Like, she can take her Samsung phone and just film the area. I mean, this is from Parhon, man. Alright? Look. It even says Parhon Hospital. Like, I'm... There are hospitals that look bad, by the way. Like, I'm not saying all of them look like this. But... This is a private clinic, for example. It depends which hospital you're talking about. The one for burned people, the plastic surgery hospital, okay, that one looked horrible. Like, that one looked like it hasn't been taken care of since the communists. But in Iași, in my city, most hospitals, I have nothing to complain about. They look great. Well, Alex, again, if you're in Piatra Neamț, as I said, major cities, right? Maybe in your case, the hospitals look worse, but these are the ones from Iași. And I can't complain about them. And again, like a doctor's appointment is $30. That's how much it cost me to see my surgeon, which, by the way, I have to pay another $30. It's just... So I go to a surgeon's appointment in order to see what's wrong with the tumor that I'm growing. And they're like, okay, well, you need to have a ultrasound. You know, like I paid the surgeon $30, and then I go for the ultrasound that also costs $30. Okay, perfect, fine, whatever. And now I get a call, the surgeon is out of town, and if I want, they will schedule me again on the 12th of October. And I'm like, dude, if I wanted 12th of October, I would have gotten to a public hospital. Like, this is urgent. I need to fix this right away. I'm in pain, for the love of God. And I now scheduled another surgeon, so I'm paying $30 more. When comes membership option for this channel? Well, Mr. Self-Aware, I could give you membership option for this channel if you wanted to. But, like, there's the main channel. Why do you want to get membership on both channels? Well, I wouldn't say that the healthcare works better than yours. Like, here's the problem with the healthcare, okay? Everything that I talked up till now is the private healthcare. And again, like, these are the big cities. Like, if you live in a rural area or you live in a smaller city, the story is completely different, okay? And those people pay taxes for healthcare as well, so it's not really fair to them. But let's assume you don't have the money to go to a private hospital. So what you do is you first, I don't know, let's say like in my case, okay, you have a growth. Or maybe you're a girl with big tits and your boyfriend, you know, while giving you the titty massage, feels something weird in your titty. They're like, oh, what is this? What is this? That shouldn't be here. That's kind of weird, right? Maybe you should have it check it out. So the woman now panics, right? Like, she doesn't want killer titties. She doesn't want breast cancer. So what does she do? schedules an appointment. Like normally she knows what she needs. She needs an x-ray, right, or a sound done to her titties so they can see what is going on. But that means she needs to go to a gynecologist or an oncologist. But like, maybe I think a gynecologist would probably know. But okay, just to be safe, you can go to an oncologist. Whatever, it doesn't matter. You need to go to the family doctor first. So you call the family doctor, and the family doctor is going to give you an appointment 1, maybe 2 weeks. And then you go to the family doctor, and they're going to send you to the specialist. They're going to send you to the gynecologist. Again, that can take 1, maybe 2 weeks. You go to the gynecologist, and they tell you, okay, well, you need to get some imagery done. Another 2 weeks. And then you go back to him so he can interpret the imagery. Another 2 weeks. So you're spending like all of this time with bureaucracy. You're spending all of this time just, you know, when it might be a medical emergency. Like you might literally have cancer there, okay? And with cancer, the faster it's operated on, the faster they work on, the better. Like the higher your life expectancy is, the faster you go into it. So if you're going to wait so long for it, yeah, I mean, that's bad. And not to mention, like, now, what's even worse is that you can't even go to public hospitals unless you take a COVID test. So you have to take the test and wait like 2 days until the test results come in. And it's like, man, that's so fucked. You know, like, if you have a heart condition, like, let's say you actually have some chest pains, and you want to go to a heart, well, no, you need to take that. Unless it's an emergency and you're dying right away. So, I don't know, like, in a way, I think Americans that... Because here's the thing, like, a lot of people say that Europeans have free health insurance, which to me always seemed retarded. It's like saying an American that pays for health insurance has free healthcare. It's literally the same. Like, no, we pay for it through taxes. Like, I pay for my healthcare through taxes, just as an American pays for his healthcare through insurance. It's not free. Now, okay, I get it. You can say, well, you know, insurance doesn't really cover pre-existing conditions, or insurance doesn't really... Like, they will try to weasel their way out of paying, and I get that, you know, but here's another thing. What happens when you pay taxes for healthcare, and when you go to the hospital, the doctor tells you, well, we're kind of out on medication, you know, I want to treat you, I know what you require, but you need to buy the medication yourself. How is that any different than the company weaseling out of paying? And it's not like, imagine paying taxes. The Americans do not pay for healthcare, man. Like, that's the thing. Like, they don't pay taxes for healthcare. They get premiums and insurances. $60 super chat. Well, thank you, Rafamon. You know, Rafamon is giving me a lot of super chats. It's just that he prefers giving them on PayPal. For the hospital money, you know, I actually needed them because, like, I didn't know how I would get additional funds. Like, most of my super chats require 1 or 2 months for them to get here. But yeah, the $60 actually helped. Hopefully, I'm not going to need surgery. Like, that's probably a little bit more expensive here. That might actually cost $100 or $200. The thing is, if you are going to tax me for my healthcare money, then use it only on me and not on all the citizens. Yeah, I mean, that's another thing. Here's another part of the debate that you never hear people from America mention. European countries, and I mentioned this a couple of times, but like I'm telling you this so you can actually talk with your friends. European countries, the way they view things is that it's not like in America. In America, if I don't care about my health, okay, let's say I'm a heavy drinker and I do drugs. Okay, now, obviously, besides the fact that it's illegal, my body is going to take a beating, right? Like, I'm not going to be in the best of care. in America, it's my problem. Like, I'm doing this to myself, so it's my problem. In Europe, if I do something like this, it's everyone's problem because everyone is paying taxes for their healthcare, right? And even though everyone is paying it, that doesn't mean that the amount of healthcare is infinite. So some people will not get it. And this is why the government takes certain measures in order to make sure that everyone stays healthy. So I guess you have like benefits, like certain gym programs or sports programs might be sponsored by the government, but at the same time, there is a sugar tax in a lot of European countries. There's a tobacco tax on a lot of European countries. And imagine if you tried this in America, an alcohol tax, to the point where in Sweden and Norway, a beer can cost over $10. I don't think Americans would put up with it. $1,000 if you construct additional pylon gazebos and stop dropping combos. Done, Billy. I will start constructing additional pylons if you give me $1,000. The gazebo will take some time, but it's going to be constructed probably next year. And I will stop dropping combos by not playing the game, Billy. Because if you don't play the game, you cannot drop the combo. So there you go. If you don't do the combo, you can't drop it, Billy. Checkmate. You have taxpayer-funded healthcare for poor people. Here's the thing, all right? I don't think that is a perfect system. I am willing to argue that healthcare is different than other products. You can't really choose the healthcare you get when there's an emergency. You drive a car, you get into a car crash. You don't get to choose the doctor that's going to patch you up. You don't get to choose the hospital that you're going to go. You're going to go to the closest hospital, and it's going to be the doctor that's available. So I kind of get it, for emergency purposes. There are advantages of the American system, and there's advantages of the European system. What I hate is when people say, oh, we got the solution. There is no solution. There is just trade-offs. Okay, you're going to fix some things and make them better. And then you can just make things worse by fixing those things. There is no 100% guarantee. That is the only way you won't drop combos. Billy, everyone drops combos. Like, I've not heard even the best Street Fighter players drop combos. Like, even at tournaments, people drop combos. It's just... I can't even describe if you're not playing fighting games. I don't think you understand. It's like a football player asking him not to miss a pass. Eventually it will happen. Like, even Messi and Ronaldo are going to miss a pass. You also want markets to grow, but not the amount of sick people. Yeah. When it comes to welfare benefits, the US is way further left than Europe. Europe uses a flat tax to pay for welfare. Okay, yeah, I mean, the thing with welfare in Europe, because I see a lot of Romanians just copying US grievances. It's like, oh, look, all these people on welfare, they're the ones dragging down the economy. And I'm like, dude, you realize that in Romania, welfare is around $60. Okay? I think that's, yeah. $60 per month. That's the welfare. And you're telling me that these are the people destroying the economy? Like, I genuinely don't know what I would do with $60 per month. You can't survive with that, even in Romania. Like, paying the electricity bills alone and the heating is just over $60. Like, you there is no way you can buy food with this amount of money. Okay, Billy is walking backwards on his $1,000 donation, so yeah. Combo comes with a drink and fries. That's actually a good idea, Kulvik. If I only order McDonald's combo, there is no way I can drop them. Alright, well, I think I will stop the stream here. Sorry if it was a little bit more boring than usual. But I hope I managed to entertain you guys anyway. dollar don't. Oh wow, 70 minutes. I thought only 60. Hopefully my girlfriend have stopped watching the holotubers. Like she was watching Gura play Outlast last time I checked, and maybe she finished watching it. Like I hate it. She keeps comparing me with Gura. She's like, why aren't you as entertaining as Gura? Why can't you make as much super chats as Gura? And it's like, well, then marry Gura. Why are you staying with me? And she's like, well, maybe I will. I'm telling you, like the next step is going to be her donating our savings to holotubers. If I see that, I'm throwing her out of the house. Like, Jesus. Rafaman, like, why would you give $100 if I continue, and for how much do you want me to continue? Because I ran out of things to talk about. But like, here's the problem. If HoloLive makes their English branch with guys, I don't stand a chance. You know, if they bring their male branch, their male stars, yikes. I couldn't watch Alice Malice. I couldn't watch Gura play Outlast. It was too scary. Come on. Hang on, walking backwards. Okay, fine. Backpedaling. I'm going to use the English expression for this, backpedaling. Can I bury her instead? No, Jake. Find your own. Alice Malice, I would shrimp for Gura any day. You know what's funny? This is actually disturbing for me, but I actually know a girl from the University of Medicine that I would say acts 70% like Gura. It's kind of difficult to explain, but like her personality is like that fictional shark, and the reason it is like that is because a lot of people this came from the fact that someone said, no, like she's probably a guy in real life, like she uses dude as a punctuation sign, you know, some of the inflections in her voice are more like manly-ish. Okay, Raph, deal. And the thing is, I told them, it's like, look, this girl that I knew in my class that at medicine, and now she's a psychiatrist, a child psychiatrist actually. The reason she went like that is because she grew up around a neighborhood with only guys. Like there wasn't a single girl around her. And the guy that she had a major crush on was a geek. So she went into those hobbies. So she started listening to heavy metal. She played Lego. She played Magic the Gathering. She liked anime. She liked Japanese songs. And she was picking with dude and whatnot. I mean, it's possible, you know, like that was the thing, like the idea that a girl like Gura can't exist because she's like quote unquote too manly. It's like, no, we used to call them tomboys, you know, like there are several girls like that are literally just I used to like tomboys, to be honest, and I still do. I think my fiance is a little bit of a tomboy, but well, I do did that, Billy. It's not that. It's more to do with what I'm going to find at the sound scan, Billy. Right? Like if I'm going to need surgery, yeah, I'm going to need a lot of money, and I don't like e-begging that much. Despite the fact that I do it, I don't. So I can relate to that, says Alice Malice. The only people in my peer group were guys when I was growing up. You know, it's kind of weird. I notice girls that spend a lot of time with guys cannot really interact with girls anymore. What I mean by this is guys are really outspoken. Like if they have a problem with you, they will tell it in your face. And guys are also very difficult to upset. Like if you say something offensive to a guy, you know, after 2 or 3 days, they will make it up. But the problem here is that with girls is different from what I noticed and from what I heard from my cousin and my fiance. They rarely are confrontational. Like they will rarely insult each other in the face. And once one is upset, they don't really want to be the ones to make the first step in order to patch things up. So if you have a girl that spends a lot of time with guys growing up, and she takes a lot of these guys' behaviors, and then she tries to interact and socialize with girls, the moment she becomes confrontational and actually, tells to another girl in her face what her beef is, or upsets a girl like that, then yeah, it's going to end up with them losing the friendship. You browse polls sometimes? Nah, I used to go on image boards, but not anymore. It's the anonymity of it all that doesn't really appeal to me, which is quite surprising because it's literally what appeals to other people. Billy, I'm not reading the goddamn Federalist papers. Let me put it this way. I would rather die, Billy. I would rather die than read the Federalist papers. Do you understand me, Billy? Like, this is the level that I am at. It's going to be on my tombstone. He could have lived had he read the Federalist papers. That is me. That is me. There is nothing that you can do that will convince me to read the Federalist papers, Billy. I really needed to get that off my chest. I'm sorry, guys. I really am sorry. Has your girl seen any of your videos or streams? Yes, she does. And she's asking me why don't I get the super chats like Gura did. She doesn't really watch many of my streams because she doesn't understand American politics. And I talk about American politics. She doesn't get the references. She doesn't get, anything like that. So no. But if I play a video game, she would watch it. It's also why she watches the Gawr Gura thing. It's because she plays video games. Thank you, Billy. And by the way, I'm joking. Like, I hope you appreciate it. I'm not joking with the fact that I will never read the Federalist papers, because that's not a joke. But I'm joking, like screaming at you and whatnot. It's not that upsetting. Perfect description of me. See, like, I know women. I could almost never get along with girls since I pretty much have a guy's personality. You're 100% right. Did I watch the South Park pandemic special? No. I didn't even know South Park is out now. Do you talk politics with her? Not really. I don't like in Romania we have this decorum. We don't talk about politics, football, or religion. Because all these things are purely emotional. And I can't even talk with a Romanian about American politics without having to explain and like build layers upon layers to finally explain. Like they don't even know what the Democrats are, they don't even know what the Republicans are. They don't even know what the American Constitution is. It's very difficult to explain to a Romanian, like, why do Americans allow people to buy guns? I have not seen Gura's karaoke stream, no, and I understand she took down that episode. I could super chat them to make you read them 200 characters at a time. Jesus, Billy, don't do that. Come on, man. Like, that would be way too expensive for you. Not to mention, like, the problem is, like, even if you were to do that, I would probably forget what the previous part was. So, while technically I would read them, it would be over the course of a long time, and I would not understand what they're saying. Like, how can you... Like, I even didn't think about that. That's just... Wow. If you want your girlfriend to watch your live streams, you should finish Resident Evil 2. Okay, Billy, I am now in the position that I have a new PC and I could actually finish playing Resident Evil 2. Imagine there's so much context to have to understand for American politics to make sense. No, that's not what I meant, Alice. It's like me telling you about Romanian politics, Alice. Like, you wouldn't know who the Romanian National Liberal Party is. you wouldn't know who the United Save Romania front is. You know, like, I would have to go into a lot of lore and detail. And I'm sorry, Billy, but it's now over. Like, the debate has over. Yellow looks red. The archive you gave me, she didn't sing that much. The pandemic special was nothing special. I see. I'll have to look it up though. Oh yeah, I need to finish Final Fantasy 7 as well. Yeah. League of Legends will have a huge patch. Is it when they're releasing the new mythical items? I don't know when that is, but yeah. They sound like the USSR party. Yeah, they're pretty much like the corporate left party. You'd have to start from the beginning and break it down. Yeah, Abdi Mohammed. I mean, again, like, it's not that I couldn't explain what the Romanian politics are, but I would have to build, you know, the context and layer upon layer for people to understand. It's the same like if I were to try to explain American politics to a Romanian. I didn't like Destroy All Humans, Booty Eater. It was more of a child's game, so I didn't really like it. Tell us about the Greater Romanian Party. Does it still exist? I don't think it exists after Corneliu Vadim died. We do have a couple of Antifa here, but like they're no way as organized or powerful. Start with Vlad the Impaler. Everyone wants to talk about Vlad the Impaler. I mean, it's just... It's not even one of the more interesting characters of our history. I'm off my diet. I lost 10 kilograms, Kulvik. My girlfriend's opinion on Minecraft and Smash. She doesn't know what Minecraft is. She doesn't know what Smash is. So thank God for that. Will I stream? I think you're talking about Cyberpunk 2077. I don't think so. God damn it, Billy! Here, Dr. Nafi, you still need to finish Outer Worlds V. The struggle is real for me and emotional turmoil for me because you didn't finish it. Dude, I can't finish it. It's just too stupid. I'm sorry. It's a stupid game. Written by James Madison, Federalist 10 defended the form of Republican government proposed by the Constitution. Critics argued that the proposed federal government was too large and would be unresponsive to the people. Federalist Papers, number 10. Full text the Union as a safeguard against domestic faction and insurrection to the people of the state of New York. Talk about the Iron Guard. A lot of people on the right are starting to admire them. Man, they were leftist. It really annoys me. Like when the Iron Guard finally got into power, they actually said one of their tactics was to release communists from prison because the communists would go and get the workers to advocate communism in factories. Sorry, to advocate for the Iron Guard in factories. Among the numerous advantages promised by a well-constructed union, none deserves to be more accurately developed than its tendency to break and control the violence of faction. Billy, you're killing me. I'm already bored, Billy. I get it. People in ancient times figured out what's going to happen in the present. The new right has no monetary backing. There's no corporations backing them. There's no political people backing them. So there's really no. They're not going to win, basically. Oh my God, Steve Connor, don't encourage him. I haven't watched the South Park Pandemic Special yet, man. I already answered that. I probably will after this, though. Anyway, I need to go away before Billy keeps harassing me. Holy shit. Yeah. Anyway, no, I really need to go to bed because tomorrow I have a doctor's appointment. So, you know what, Billy? Fine. I'll read the papers, Billy. If you genuinely want me to read them so much, you don't have to give me money. I'll read you the papers because I'm nice. The friend of popular governments never find himself so much alarmed for their character and fate as when he contemplates their prosperity. Okay, Billy, send me the Federalist papers on Twitter. I'll read them for free. Don't do this. Only give me money if you like my content. I'm not going to be the type of person that's going to stretch this out. No, I feel bad because it's like the guy is giving me what? He already gave me $40 today, you know, to read some papers. To this stage and advice you will not fail. Therefore, to set due value on any plan which violating the principle to which he is attached, providing a proper cure for it. Okay, I'm out. Take care, guys. Hopefully you like this show. I really enjoyed it. Well, it's not just me learning, it's the entire chat. But I do need to go to bed now because I have a doctor's appointment, which I can't be late. So, take care, everyone.